Okay, good afternoon. I don't know, my frames are bad today. Like they're dismally bad. But let's see if we can keep up. If we can't, I'll cut it a stream, man. Um it looks like I'm tapped out on GU or short on GU. We trail our stop loss to profit. It took us out. Um Look, I'm not worried about that we are out. Um I will re-enter if it gives me another opportunity. But for now, I guess it took us out. I'm going to look for a deeper move back up, perhaps to retest that low. I'll jump back on in. In other words, I'm saying I'll look to jump back in as it retests this low, this high. So the target will still be the same. Um, that has not changed. I don't know. My frames are dismal. I don't know how good the quality is on YouTube, but these frames are bad. Just observing the stream frames on YouTube. Oh no, it's not happening. Okay, officially the New York AM session has opened. Let's quickly do the analysis here. Come on, improve. Hold on, I'm coming now. Hold on for me. Okay, let's see if it will improve. I was just checking up on my Wi-Fi. Let's see if the thing will improve. Let's quickly do the analysis for today before we speak about a lot of things. Also, let me check if I'm audible. I think it's horrible. The stream is buffering like crazy for sure on YouTube, and I don't like it. Okay. We held previous daily low, push to the upside. There is a bit of possibility for retracement lower, but it's not something that I'm looking into. Let me see if I'm audible. Remember, I don't take any trade before the 15 minutes has finished. Just checking if I'm audible. Let me see if I'm audible. Remember, I don't take any trade before the 15 minutes has finished. Okay. We seem to be holding this. There's a 4 hour drop liquidity above, and there is a possibility of going up all high to about 2500 just to retest. Um, the resistant area there for that will be for NQ or Nasdaq. So that's something that I am really watching closely and interested in. But let's see. So right now we are retesting a 1 hour demand area. Can the demand hold? Then we come lower. We about to see that. But we are retesting the what do you call this? The 1 hour demand. Um, I'm hoping that it will hold that, which is the New York PM session high. It's taken uh let's see. Okay. Yeah. This guy is overstretched. So there's possibility of lower prices coming through. Yeah. The frames on YouTube are not doing well. Let me see. Yeah. You'll pardon me if you're on the tube, but can it hold that? Or I think I'm just questioning if we can. We've taken the previous daily low right now, and then after taking the previous daily low, reacted on the what do you call this? On the 1 hour demand area. So could we get a reversal or continuation? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. For now, I have no bias. I think I'm gonna hold and do nothing because I don't have any bias for now. Just gonna see what's gonna happen. I just don't have any bias at all. If by quarter past something flips, maybe I'll get something. But for now, I think I'll stand on the side. I'm not gonna take any trade. I'm just gonna be sitting on the side. But I'm interested in talking about the hedge fund and the macros right now. On the edge finder, okay, Bitcoin continues being bullish. I think we'll discuss Bitcoin now. Continue being bullish. AUD JPY continue being bullish. I think the Aussie overall, we did say that it's a very strong bullish thing because of their problem with inflation. Hold on. Was there no? Oh yes. So Aussie have they've increased interest rates from 3.85 to 4.1%, and this is something that we have been discussing all along, that the Aussie are highly likely to increase rates because inflation is a problem to them. They continue having an inflation problem, and this is exactly what you see here. You see that the previous one, inflation was at 3.85, the forecast was 4.1, and it came out at 4.1% as expected. However, that's an increase which is very bullish for the Aussie dollar, given the fact that the overall settlements in Australia, it's the dollar. I mean, it's the currency long, just trying to cap consumer, just trying to cap inflation because now, if inflation is about, I think it's at 3.8 now, if I'm not mistaken, you don't want to see inflation getting out of hand. So the only way to cap that is for them to increase rates, and I think that's what they did. They just increase rates now. So Aussie still continue being a very strong bull. Bitcoin, we see that Bitcoin is a very strong bull. Whatever I'm talking about, you can see that on YouTube. Um, Continue being a very strong bull. US oil, interestingly, US oil is bullish. One thing which I wanted to discuss, it's Nasdaq. Nasdaq seems to be bullish from macro's side, even though the trend is bearish. Technicals are bullish. Where did we change? I think let's discuss that now. I am gonna go to economic data. I'm just gonna look at US oil and Nasdaq. Let me go to asset scorecard. I'm really interested in oil but already I've went long on oil, so we can discuss oil, but I've already went long on oil, so it's neither there or here for me. Let's look at Nasdaq. One thing which I don't like about the US indices, the way they are formed currently, it's because when you look at Russell is bearish, and then you get to see your Nasdaq, which is bullish. That's why I want to look at the asset score and see how is the H finder scoring Nasdaq and the Russell. Russell, we're at -5. All right, technicals, I did say that they're bearish, but on the latest economic outcome that came out very lately was, I think the labor market, it's inflation data. I think Russell, the technicals are the one that are very bearish now. When you look at the technicals, also economic sentiments, which I'm gonna look at that. Technical and then sentiment, including the COT data. Those are things that I have to look at thoroughly and decide, but we'll discuss it now here. Also, Nasdaq, it's bullish. Let's see where we changed. Nasdaq is bullish. COT data, we see, I think fundamental scores 2 plus, given the economic growth, GDP growth, manufacturing PMI, service PMI, and retail sales are very bullish for for basically for all US indices. But one thing which has given Nasdaq a boost is the sentiment plus COT data, which let's just quickly discuss that as well. Let's look at the latest COT data that was last reported on Friday, and see the numbers how it came out as. Life, I use a platform called the H Finder. It does have all those things. If you can go to YouTube, I don't know if my stream is good today on YouTube, but it's not. On the tube, you'll see the data that I'm talking about. Oh, as expected, I use a platform called the H Finder. That's where I get all the economic heat map economic data for the US. I think the US, the Japanese yen, and all other platform. But on the tube, I think it is there. It's just so unfortunate that my stream today is not as perfect as I wished on the tube. But COT data, the latest COT data that was last reported on Friday, when you look at it, we have on the top things that have been bought last week. And remember, this is just positioning that non-commercial institution are reported on Friday, which is reported every Friday. So we can say last week institution, this is what the institution were doing from last week. You get Nasdaq, which the institution Nasdaq, we see that they've closed about 21,000 short contracts, but they've added or they've only closed 9,000 short contracts, which is a net change of 8.75% to the upside, which is very bullish. Also Canadian dollar as well. I've told you Canadian dollar from last week. I think from end of January to discuss that. As for the Aussie dollar, it will be bullish for the first quarter to the second quarter, given the fact that they have a problem with inflation. So the only way to cap inflation is to increase rates. So basically, to play around your monetary policy. So once you become very restrictive, you increase rates. That very bullish for the Aussie dollar or for that country's currency. So in this case, that's what we see where inflation is about 3.8%, and the interest rate in Australia was about 3.85%. Now we have seen them increasing to 4.1, and that alone is just trying to cap inflation, not to get out of hand. And with also that, we tend to see that also they have a very good retail. The retail numbers came out very well. I think retail sales was good. I think GDP also came out very strong. So, to be honest, I think the Aussies is doing well, but however, they have a problem with inflation. And the only way to cap inflation is to increase rates. And once you start increasing rates in totality, we're just gonna be bullish. So that's what we see. But anyway, US oil as well, we see a lot of buying that we see them a lot of they've added about 39,000 long contracts from last week for US oil, and we see that on the short contracts they close about 16,000 short contracts that on US oil, and then silver followed suit. But I just wanted to see Nasdaq, why Nasdaq is bullish while the other US indices are bearish. In this case, now you can clearly see one thing, which is sentiments and the COT data that was last reported on Friday, that was very bullish for there was a lot of long contracts and the short contracts closed last week. That is why the Nasdaq is a very strong bullish thing. But with that being said, overall, I did say that yesterday that I did say yesterday I've taken long on US oil. I'm long US oil. Um, and I'll show you the technicals now. If you're on the tube, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I've taken long on US oil, hoping to hold this 1 hour support to look for an upside. And reason being is if you were to look at the H finder, look what I'm showing you now. What am I doing? Oh, okay, it's fine. That was my mistake, sorry. When look at the top setup on the H finder, I'll show you now. Do not forget to go to the tube and like and subscribe there for more content, and we're gonna do this together. I don't know, those things are very annoying today. I think my network is bad today. So when you look at US oil, it's bullish, which is a +5. It's giving a +5 reading. Trend is already to the upside, seasonality. All at this time is tend to be bearish. We have a -1 COT data. We have already discussed the COT data when I was looking at the COT data. Retail sales are bullish for all. PPI is bearish for all. Inflation data seems very bullish for oil. However, the labor market, because came out strong, that's bullish. So US oil, one, H finder is giving a bullish reading. Two, and yeah, I'm using the same name, man. Leagore Fumo. Yep, I'm using the same name. Where was I? Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Where was I? US oil. Labor market seems to be very strong. Also, the H fund is giving bullishness on the US oil or on oil, and also the war that is going through in the Strait of Hormuz, Israel. I mean, Israel with the Middle East, basically. That's also inflationary, and it could affect oil prices long term. We've already seen a spike of oil prices to 119 barrels. I mean, $119 per barrel, and then we'll see a retracement lower. But with the retracement, there's an opportunity to buy more, I guess. So I just went long on US oil, given the fact that I'm saying that also the hedge fund is giving a bullish reading. And something else that is of my interest is Bitcoin. I know Bitcoin has not had so much volatility lately, but I'm truly interested um, in a trade on US oil. Silver is bearish, but I'm not going to trade that. But yeah, so let's look at the technicals of everything that we spoke about. We start with US oil. I've just went long on US oil. I think I've already said that. I just went long on US oil now. I think that was last night. So I'm hoping to hold this 1 hour demand area. If that holds, I'm going to look for the market to go to the upside, break above the previous resistance area, hold above. I'm going to start trailing stop loss. High possibility of prices going up for oil, but also if there's new thing where in the Middle East there's a ceasefire happening, we could see prices coming down lower again. So, but anyway, if that fails, obviously, if my trade falls, I will take a loss. To retrace lower and then continue lower, I'll take a loss. I don't mind that. Um, as for gold, I think I have nothing on gold, but it's very important for me to say, even though I'm not going to take gold, I'm looking into buying into the SA Top 40 index, which is moving similar to gold. I do like that. I'm looking to dollar average it, looking for entries as it comes back lower, hoping that eventually I know it will break up to the upside. So, because when you look at year to date, it's still up 1%, but overall the past 3 months was up 3% as well. So there is possibilities for SA Top 40 index to go to the upside. In terms of long term, I'm looking into buying and dollar averaging the SA Top 40. I will be looking into SA40 I'll buy it using an ETF called Cetrix Top 40. Cetrix Top 40. So 40 index. So I'm looking to buy Cetrix Top 40 index. That's what I'm looking into buying too. I'm gonna look to add position here. So that's what I'm interested in currently. Where was I? I was speaking about I'm long US oil. I was looking for long on USD So I'm just gonna look to see if it will retrace lower and hold the support that I'm looking for. If it does, I am gonna definitely long USD And something that I missed was AUD. It seems that it held the support and continued without retesting directly on the demand area, and it just continued. Without me, that happens. I've been just taken out on GU, taken profit that I trail my stop loss to profit. I've been taken out on that. I'm looking for a deeper retracement. The H funder is still giving a very strong which is a -8 bearish sentiments on GU, but also it counterpairs with the GBP AUD. It's also giving a bearish sentiment, and that's coming from the background that there is growth concern in the region. However you want to look at it, there's growth concern in the UK and in the Eurozone, basically. So where inflation is lower, so the possibilities that they have, given the fact, let's just look at the scorecard. Let's just Forex scorecard. Well, I know the scorecard will just give us a scorecard of that particular asset, but let's look at the overall economic indicators of the Eurozone. Let's start with the Eurozone before we go to the British economic indicator. So lately, I think the last numbers that we got was early March, where we got GDP growth the forecast was 0.3, it came out as 0.2. That was bearish for the currency itself as well. We had unemployment rate that decreased from 6.2 to 6.1. However, when you look at inflation, that's where we are bearish in a way in the euro, at least for the eurozone. But inflation at the focus was 1.7%. That's below 2% target normally. and then came out at 1.9. That's bullish for that particular moment. However, there is still growth concerns problem, because you look at retail sales month over month, the forecast was 0.3, it came out as 0.1. That's a 0.4% miss in retail sales that was reported. Manufacturing PMI came out good, I should say, but quite not having much effect on the currency itself. While when you look at UK, when you look at the direct UK thing as well, which will be directly linked to British pound, look at that. GDP in UK, the forecast was 0.2, it came out as 0.1, we got a 0.1% miss. And that month over month GDP changes, which is showing that there is growth concern, there is a slowing down in consumer spending. And the only way to do, you get inflation that it's at 3% though. However, looking at the unemployment rate that have decreased, that have increased, sorry, PPI that came out 2.5%. Inflation came out exactly the same. Retail sales, that was the only bearish one, which was good. However, we still have growth concerns. And overall, when you look at the currency meter, there's something called the currency meter on the H finder that I'm using. And I am not showing the H finder. I'm not showing you. Here we go. It's 20%, which is in the bearish sentiment side. So that's very bearish for the currency itself. That is why I am bearish for British pound. Um, yeah, I think that's what closely I'm watching. Also, I haven't gotten a good retracement that as much as I was looking for. GBP AUD did give me, but not to an extent where I wanted, and I get to miss the trade. I think the similar thing that happened to what do you call this? That happened with USD JPY and AUD JPY. So I've got those three trades that I missed worth few pips. But anyway, that's long-term trading. It's not neither here or there. Missed it. Top setup. We did discuss top setup. I said I was looking for Bitcoin long-term on a daily time frame. I am interested in Bitcoin. It's giving a +7 reading Bitcoin. So I'm just waiting to see if it will give me a good enough retracement. So this is more like a move that I'm waiting for. Retrace back closer to 70,538, close to that. I might look to attempt to go long on Bitcoin. I think that's it on my long-term trading and my long-term biasness on my long-term trading. So far I'm only holding US oil. Um, that's what I'm holding. As for Nasdaq, look, I wouldn't buy Nasdaq long term unless we start breaking above, but I wouldn't buy it. We're just gonna range for a while. But let's go to day trading. As I said, let's see what we have on the day trading. This will be annoying. So we broke above the previous daily high. Am I gonna get the retracement lower? I could be bearish for today. Just wondering if to get a move something like this to come lower. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. For those that are brave, for sure, maybe they're looking for shots. For me, no. I'm not brave enough to take shots, yeah. And also there is a 5 minutes fair value gap below. Though once it takes out this current low, high possibilities of reversal because we've taken the previous daily low. Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. Can it close below, come back to retest this low? If it does that, I will look for low. I might look for short. But if it doesn't, then I think I have no hope in higher prices, to be honest. That's a very strong bull ever since this morning, hey? That's a very strong bullish buy sentiment, basically moves for Nasdaq. Previous daily low taken, we just swept that, continued higher. Maybe something will happen. Maybe something will happen. S&P 500 is holding, uh, which seems to be reacting to a 5 minute fair value gap here, which is support. Let's see if it will break through. If it breaks through, I might honestly look. Ooh, that's very strong here. Let's see. If we get this 5 minutes invasion, I might look for shorts. I am not gonna lie. Might look for shorts. 3 minute might set me up for those shots very, very well. But just want to see if what happens as we tap to that 5 minutes fair value gap. Are we gonna hold that, or are we gonna continue lower? Already gotten the invasion of this fat. Perfect. Let's see where the next moves goes. So S&P 500 is very weak to the downside. I think it will give me a first move lower. And then I think that will be my decisive moves. That will be my decisive move. That can be short here, to be honest. That you can short this move here. I just not confident. But you can short this move where the price action is. Let's see this retest. Yeah. Stop loss above. Look for this low. Let me think. Should I short it? No, I'm not gonna short it. The 5 minutes has not done what I wanted. I just want the 5 minutes to just break below and give me something. So I'm not gonna attempt it yet. But it has held. See what I was talking about? So far it looks like it's holding the 1 minute fair value gap, even though I'm not taking that trade where it is now. Do, do, do. Oh God. We just closed the 1 hour. Let's see. Didn't even take out that high. Boring 1 hour. It would have nice if the 1 hour took out this high, yeah. Perhaps we're gonna say we could come back all the way down to this low. Because that's, I think, the next move that I'm looking for. Now holding the 1 hour supply, can we come lower to the 1 hour this low here? Hmm. Yeah, I wished it could have tapped here, man. I think I can only go long if it comes back tap here and reject back to the upside. I think so. And to look for these higher prices. But for now, no. Shorts. I can look for shorts if it gave an inversion of this five, but that would be a very big move. That would be a very huge move for me to start looking. Um, let's see. Yeah, that would be a very big move. I'll have to invade that, look for a retracement higher again. Then I can start looking for for longs or shorts. But the 1 minute that I marked, it's holding even though I am not brave enough to take a trade there. I just feel like it's not a trade to hold. Let me see S&P 500. S&P 500, we just tapped into the 5 minutes fair value gap. If it gives an inversion of this five fair value gap, then I think my bias will be bearish. But if S&P doesn't do that, then ain't doing nothing. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm not gonna do anything. I'd love for it to. I'd like to see S&P 500 moving lower, taking out the five inversion, coming lower. Then I'll decide what to do. But for now, if it fails and starts rolling higher, maybe you could look for longs. But for me, I can't. Oh, it's holding that 1 minute. Interestingly, just broken below the 1 minute that I said it's holding at. Let's see. Yeah. If we're looking for shorts on that 1 minute, you look to be set, to be honest. But the move has not done much for you, for us to confirm that a respiration could just be looking to retest the 5 minutes for value gap and then reverse from there. So I think I am gonna closely be monitoring S&P 500 to see what's happening with S&P 500. S&P gives an inversion, and a retest higher, then we are set for shorts. That's what basically my idea is today. Uh, yeah, good move. Nasdaq has not tapped into the 5 minutes for value gap yet. Okay, so Nasdaq tapped into the 5 minutes for value gap. Let's see S&P 500. 3 minutes before closure, I'll have to wait for this closure. I'll have to wait for this closure. Ooh, okay. If you took the shots there, man, you're good. You could even move to break even if you want, or reduce the risk, to be honest. You could. We seem to be holding that, so. Oh, shucks. Let's say you took this trade. I don't see a reason why you would move your stop loss to break even. I don't see why you would move your stop loss to break even. Okay, but I was waiting for 5. Let me see. Just at 50% of the range. 1 minute before 5 minutes closure. If S&P fails to close below to give a proper inversion, we are likely gonna still reverse to the upside. So if you wanna see full chatting, you can jump. Or you can also go to the tube. You'll have to pardon me today. My network is a bit bad. I don't know. My streams are dropping up to 50%. So, ooh, that's a full inversion. Wow. I could be bearish, by the way. I'm setting my eyes on the bears now. Yep. Because when you look at Nasdaq, could come back, retest that, and we move lower. Or look for a trade here. 5, mark that, 5 closure, 20 seconds before the 5 minutes closure. Trade with Tumisho. I'll check it out, man. You can also check me out on YouTube. I think that's where you will see what I'm talking about. I'm just looking at something, but I'll check it out. Tumisho. Oh, that closed very strong. That closed very strong. Perfect. I am gonna be looking for shorts. Just gonna wait for this closure. I will wait for this next 5 minutes closure to happen. And if that happens, wait for a retracement directly inside the 5 minutes fair value gap and look for longs. To me, show GJ long term trade. For me, I am not gonna look for GJ. Uh, because I use macros to determine my bias. As for my macros currently, on a long term trade, on a daily time frame, I don't see anything. We seem to be consolidating, depending which time frame you are looking at. If you are looking anything above, below 4 hour time frame, perhaps you could get something. But the reason why I wouldn't even be looking for, would be looking for GJ currently on the H finder, on the micro sentiments, I have nothing. It's not even part of the scoring. Let me see what's the score for GJ. I'll discuss that GJ with you now. Forex asset score. You said GJ to me, sure. So you can also you can go to the tube and subscribe there. You'll see the full chatting. I'm also live. Nah, looking at GJ. Let's discuss GJ macros because on the macro, technicals are bullish. You're right. Technicals showing bullish sentiments. You're right. Daily time frame, when you look at the 4 hour and the daily, it is bullish. I agree. Things failing to do what I want. But anyway, it is bullish. I agree. But economic growth, it's bearish. As I said earlier, if you were here earlier, I did discuss the fact that um, there is growth concern in the eurozone, British part in the UK as well, where inflation is still dipping lower. It's coming lower inflation, so that's where the problem is. So other than that, I am neutral, but technicals, if you're looking at the technicals, it is definitely bearish. But as for other things, inflation data did say that CPI, PPI bullish, PCE is neutral because you're comparing it with the others. Yeah, look, it's neutral rating. Economics are just neutral. So GJ, I'm neutral. It's not giving me anything. Ooh, ask me how do I feel? I feel terrible. If you ask me how do I feel terrible. And ask me why, it's because I spoke of a trade, but looking at, I didn't get all the confirmation I needed. I let it go. Because let's say you took exactly the trade that we spoke about earlier. I'm on five. Oh, really? Okay, let's say you took the trade that we discussed earlier that you could go short there. Already has given you a 1 is to 2. You'll be calling it a day. But, hey man, I don't like how this 5 is closing, so yo, such a reversal. Oh, I see. That's such a terrible reversal. Yeah, I don't know. Just gonna watch, man. 10 minutes before the 5 minutes closure, 15 inversion, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's happening. No, I'm not taking shots. Let me see if it will give confirmation for shots. No, it's not giving confirmation for shots. It is not giving confirmation for shots, so I'm not gonna take shots. Yep, I am not gonna take shots. I'll be sitting on my hands. No, because we have a 5 minutes inversion. I do agree here. I don't like how the 5 minutes closed here, so no. I'm not even gonna attempt to say I'm gonna look for shots. Nope. See. All the gains back to break even. So you will have taken a break even if you didn't take profit. Interesting. No, it's giving another opportunity though. Should I go long? Let me see. Should I go short? Sorry. Let's see. I'm just thinking. Sorry. Yeah. I'm gonna attempt shots. Oh, that was slow for me. Okay. I'm just gonna jump in, guys. Sorry. I'm in some short. Okay, I'm in. Sorry, I'm using my phone to just take a trade. Okay, I'm on a trade. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I'm on a trade. Just, yeah. Anyway. Yeah. In short, let me see if I can set up this. I'm short Nasdaq. Okay. Try to take short on Nasdaq. Let's see how it goes. I was looking to write something. How do you use the stickers? This TikTok live thing is, it's giving me problems. I don't know how to use this thing. So I'm short Nasdaq. So I don't know how it will end, but let's see how the trade will go, to be honest. How do anyway, I'll just say I'm short on Nasdaq. So far it is holding. um oh, I see. Do this. I'm Nasdaq short. So it only pins for 30 seconds. Wow, that's annoying. Let's see if the current 1 minute demand will hold. If it holds, definitely we look to be going lower. But if it doesn't, then we have a problem. Yeah. And we'll hold this. Basically, that's a break and a retest. Um, Let me see. Yeah. Just wanted to trade below. We've just taken out the previous daily low. So I just want to see where we're going. I'm short already, so I might leave the live stream and like go pick up my kids with in the next 15 minutes or so. Hold on for me. I need to take this. Looks like it's failing to trade below this low. If that closed below and gives, oh, look at that. It failed to trade below this low, so I'll have loved for it to close below and leave a fair value gap as it comes lower, but it seems to be failing to do that. Um, yeah, seem to be failing to do that. I'll have loved for a closure below, get an inversion below that low, trade below the previous daily low, maybe, and then I was gonna reduce to this low, but seems not to be doing that. Seem not to be doing that, so yeah.
Traders, we've got a rule change.
See the 15 minutes, how the 15 closed. My problem is, yeah, if you got an inversion of this breaker, yeah, we just tapped the breaker and rejected immediately. So that's where the biggest hurdle now for my trade is. And we see now the market is moving to the upside, just retested that, and it's immediately rejecting to the upside, which is not nice. Which is not nice at all. But let's see where the trade goes. Doesn't look good. I didn't lie. It doesn't look good at all. Okay. Nothing is happening, to be honest. We're just consolidating. Oh, okay. The trade is not looking good. We've just closed above that, and we look to be invading the previous 1 minute for value gap that I spoke about. So I doubt the trade will hold. That's all I can say. Just created a new supply, yeah. So just want to see what happens with this new supply, with this new demand. Can we close below the new demand? I think that's a question that is on my mind right now. If we fail, then it's a total failure of a trade. If we get an invasion of this demand, that would be nice. Come on, close below the demand, man. This 1 minute, if it comes and close below here, leave that fair value gap. That's a good setup for shorts. The first target, if it goes to my direction, will be this low. I love it. I'll love for it to come lower, man. Though it's failing to close below the supply, I would have loved for it to close below the supply. That would be lovely for me. But I will mark this here. Come lower. Use this as demand, supply, and demand, man. Supply, I mean demand. Come lower, buddy. Come on. Oh, shucks. It doesn't want to close below this 1 minute fair value gap. That's where our biggest problem is. But I need to go fetch my kids. I'll leave the trade running. I'll leave the trade running here. Let's see where we go. I might even take profit as it comes back to this low, to be honest. As it comes back to that low, I might take profit here. If it comes to that low. Okay, retesting this fair value gap, 1 minute fair value gap, yeah. But let's see. Guys, I get to go fetch my kids. I'll see you in a few when I get back from fetching my kids. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think, oh, this thing is annoying now. We still not have gotten an invasion here. So what I'll do, I didn't want to be greedy. I'm going to training and I'm going to let the trade run, but I'll trail my stop loss. My take profit to this low here. So my profit will be at this level. Yeah. So I've just trailed my stop loss. Not trade, I mean trimmed my stop to this low here. Here we go. So we'll see what's gonna happen. But I'm off to training. We'll see you in the PM session. And that have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I love you all. Bye.